It is about that time. Love and Marriage Huntsville returns to the OWN network this weekend, Saturday to be exact, at 9 p.m. We are so excited because listen, y'all kind of left us in the middle of a lot of drama going on. So welcome back, Melody Hope, Kimmi Scott. Hey, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's just go ahead and start. Man, I've been glued to this show since you guys started. And let me ask first and foremost, is this a whole new season or is this the continuation from where we left off when the pandemic hit?
It's a continuation. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we did have to stop filming. So when everything kind of cleared up just a little bit, we were able to get back doing what we do best. And
right.
So now you guys have some great, more entertainment to watch starting January 30th.
And that puts it mildly. I was checking it out. And we've been watching, and I'll start with you, Melody. We've been watching your story and the ups and downs with your marriage with Martell over the past couple of seasons. And it seemed like before we took a break, it seemed like you guys were getting on the right track. But now looking at this new trailer, it seems like everything went left.
Absolutely.
What happened?
It's one of those things where for me right now, what I'm really doing is pressing past the pain and continuing to push through despite the obstacles and pushing through to make decisions that are best for me and best for my pumpkins. So that's kind of where we are now. And yes, you guys saw us last in a great place. We had the baby special, had Melanie just turned 1, by the way.
Oh, she's
1. And but things happen and things change. And so you guys are going to get to witness the entire piece of it this new season.
And I will say, watching your story unfold, there were times when I was just like, oh my gosh, this dude right here. Like, not only does he have this propensity for cheating, but the blame that he would try to shift on you just made me want to jump through the television.
That's what people do sometimes. It takes a certain type of maturity to be able to own your own stuff and to be able to look in the mirror and self-evaluate and take responsibility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of times that's not what people tend to do. They tend to try to make themselves the victim instead and kind of deflect. So, you just have to be strong enough mentally to recognize that and not allow it to really affect you.
Now, Melody, we saw it on the trailer. So is he expecting a child, a baby boy, or what?
You're going to have to tune in, girl.
Okay, so that's going to be one of the big secrets. I was like, no, he didn't. But okay, we'll tune in.
Oh, you better tune in. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And so speaking of Martell, there was also some issues with Tisha, your sister-in-law, Kimmi. And what was the whole situation? Let me just be blunt. Did Marceau cheat or not? Do we have receipts for that, or was it just kind of like a tit for tat kind of thing?
Well, what I will say, I don't do tit for tat, but I'm not here today to speak on anybody's marriage.
Okay, so we'll have to tune in, I guess, for that. Speaking of that, your relationship with Tisha was a little strained. Where are you guys at right now?
Me or Kimmi?
You, Melody.
Oh, okay. It's one of those situations to where I would say definitely if we were to see one another in public, we speak, probably, hey, how you doing? No issues whatsoever in terms of being able to be cordial with one another. I would say that we're in a better place than we have been in. And sometimes, for me, what I had to do was look at the entire situation. And when you look at it, it's one of those things where, unfortunately, the friendship just went through so much.
Yeah.
It became better for us not to be in one another's space as much as possible. But I will say, when you look at it, the person that was discussed, Marceau, we haven't had a major problem for real. So it's kind of interesting that the accused doesn't have as much of a problem as the other way. That's kind of, makes sense. So, but hopefully we can continue to be in a decent space and a cordial space.
And that leads me to you, Kimmi. Kimmi, you often come across as the one that's often the mediator, and you get with everybody. But you looking at, I've been reading some of the stuff on the blogs, and they're saying that maybe your relationship with Tisha at this point is a little strained. Is that true?
I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, she's my sister. And from my perspective, I feel as though I should be able to chastise you in love.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, my light went out again. From my perspective, no, it's not. And I feel like we're good and we're going to be good. From her perspective, after we've had some conversations, it's a little strange. She feels as though I'm not exactly there for her in the way that she wants me to be there for her. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I don't love you and I'm not there for you. This particular case, I just haven't been there the way she would like for me to be there.
And I think, you've attempted several times to give her lessons in adulthood. I mean, the watching her almost try to force you to choose a friendship between her and Melody, it blew my mind. I just thought just because you have a problem with Melody doesn't mean that Kimmi has to have a problem with Melody. So it's been interesting to watch. How are things with the hubby, Maurice? They did a great editing job, but it looked like there was a little tense situation dealing with your son in the trailer.
So we both come to this marriage with packages. We both had a package deal when we met each other, and that was something we had to accept. Parenting is difficult sometimes with parents who have the same mother and father, because moms are a little more nurturing and moms are a little more coddling and dads are a little more push you out the nest and go fly. So for us, it's just a little bit tense sometimes because we don't always believe the same things for our children. However, when it comes to our respective children, we kind of both feel like at the end of the day, I kind of get the last say, and like with respect to Monster, he kind of gets the last say.
Yes.
So, at the end of the day, we try to marry our opinions as we raise our children. We love each other to death. That doesn't mean we're not going to have an argument every now and then. That doesn't mean we're not going to have a disagreement every now and then. Ever. That's not what love and marriage is, period. We disagree, and we try to get back on track. So you'll see how we maneuver through raising our eldest.
And speaking of Monster, did his mom finally make it to Huntsville?
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep watching the show for that.
Okay. Ask you, Kimmi, because you work in the health care field. Have you been working through this pandemic, and what kind of effect has that had on you? What have you seen? What do you feel?
So this is like nothing I've ever seen before personally. We did H1N1, we did Ebola, we did all of those. And this has just taken a hold to the country like I've never seen. As a nurse, I do have to go to work. And the precautions that we have to take now is 10 times greater than what we've already been calling ourselves taking for years anyway. And I think a lot of times people are taking it lightly, and they shouldn't. Yeah. Mind you, healthy people seem to be managing fair, but when you come in contact with an older person or an unhealthy person, I have personal friends that didn't make it through this. And most of them had underlying other issues. So when people say he passed from COVID, most of them have underlying other issues that exasperate in some kind of fashion, and it causes them to have medical issues that they can't surpass. So wash your hands, wear your mask, stay out of my face, which I didn't really want you in my face anyway. And just do the right thing until we can get this thing under control.
Now, will we see any of that play out, you at work on the new, as we continue with this season?
Well, let me tell you something. I watch this show when you watch it, honey. And I'm saying that sincerely. They don't send us these reels and we get to watch it and, this is what's coming. I see what's coming when it comes. So I know what we filmed. I know what we've talked about. And all of us have shared our businesses and how our businesses relate to COVID and how our family and relationships relate to COVID.
Yeah.
So I would assume yes. However, you'll see.
You'll see. Yeah. You know, I loved it when you were dealing with Tisha's mom and you said, what do you say? Dial that back. Like that was one of my.
Well, because sometimes people come for you so fast, they don't think about what they're saying and they don't put two and two together. Like I'm a person of logic.
Yes.
I really, really am. And I really try to listen to both sides of the situation before I render an opinion. And at that moment, what she was saying was not logical. Right. Like it just simply wasn't logical to me. And I needed her to rethink it because she just wasn't making sense to want me to be upset in a fashion that in turn didn't happen. Like me and Mel hadn't always got along. Me and Mel hadn't always got along. Tisha didn't stop fooling with Mel just because we didn't get along.
Yeah.
It just never happened like that. So I just needed her to think that through again before she was bringing things to me that weren't accurate.
That was classic. Her mom is a live one, boy. I'm here to tell you that's how to put it. So brand new, well, the continuation of the new season continues Saturday night, and we are here, Love and Marriage Huntsville, with Melody S. Holt and Kimmi Scott. I love these two ladies. What everyone's watching you guys. Are you guys watching any other reality shows?
Well, you know, for me personally, honestly, I don't get much time to watch a lot of TV at all. I've never really been a person to watch a lot of TV. So when I do get a chance to watch, I do like to watch, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I love to watch Married to Medicine when I do get a chance. And that's really too because I have personal friendships with some of the ladies on those shows. So out of support for them, you know, I'll watch, but I don't get to watch too much.
Yeah. What about you, Kimmi?
So I am a Food Network chick. I watch a lot of Food Network. I will agree, even long before us, I like Married to Medicine and I do like Atlanta Housewives. I'm from DC, so I got to keep the Potomac Housewives in there. So I absolutely watch reality TV.
Now, let me ask you, speaking of Real Housewives of Potomac, you know I'm going to ask you this question.
Go ahead, girl. I love them.
That whole situation that went down between Candace and Monique. What are your thoughts? I don't want to say necessarily say who was in the wrong, but we definitely know it went too far. But do you think it was a situation that calls for hands to be laying on someone? Or
listen, this is gonna be me, and I stay on the side of unpopular, so it's okay with me. However, I don't approve of putting your hands on me. I don't approve of that. But I believe Candace sent out a check that she couldn't cash. And at some point, you can't keep selling wolf tickets. You can't keep popping off at the mouth and think that nothing is going to happen. And I guess in that case is who's the wronger. Like literally for me, it's like who's the wronger, because I'm the kind that you're not going to keep popping off at me. You're just not going to keep doing it on a very regular basis. And Candace, she's that chick. She's social media. She's Twitter finger. She's a live wire. And at some point, you have to know how to talk to somebody to be able to get your message across.
Yeah.
So I am not for putting hands on people, be clear. However, I think that Candace walked her way into some trouble.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a whole lot, ladies. So I got to ask you, ladies, the continuation of this season, what can we expect to be the most? Because Melody, honey, look, you throwing stuff. I'm like, and Lord forgive me, but I was like, get him, girl, because he had it coming. He has had it coming. What would you guys describe as the most explosive part of this continuation of the season? What do we need to look out for? What might shock some of us? What may not?
Well, for me, I would definitely say what you just mentioned. For me, definitely some explosiveness when it comes to Martell and myself, and discussing the children or co-parenting and the divorce and all of that. So it's a lot.
What about you, Kimmi?
We're still trying to raise these kids. And we're trying to do it with unlike minds. And we're trying to open a new business. You know, Maurice took his bar and he finished school. So we're trying to open a new business in that regard. I've got some decisions I have to make in regards to my career. So we have just a handful of things that we're still trying to blend together to make our engine move forward.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I was watching when he was going through that process to prepare to take the bar. My sister's an attorney, so I was like, "Oh, I feel his struggle," because when she had to take the bar,
it's a struggle for the whole family.
Like, seriously, like I mean, when she came out of it, I was like, "Well, hey, you pass it on the first try, like it's over, it's done." But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Not.
So congratulations to him, ladies. The continuation of this season, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Who's the messiest? Keep it real.
The messiest?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. That's a toughie. Out of the 6 of us or everybody who shows up on the show?
Everybody.
Wanda.
Right.
Wanda is the messiest by far.
I love it. What do you say, Melody?
I really don't have an answer for that. This season, I really worked really hard to keep my emotions and stuff in check and intact. So I'm just happy that the rest of season part B, that I'm not in a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing I'm dealing with is my own personal stuff. Other than that, so I don't know what other folks got going on or what they doing. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Oh, well, I cannot wait to see it. I know the rest of this season is going to be explosive. Do you guys have, reality TV is so invasive. Any regrets?
For me personally, I don't have any regrets for it. I mean, I know what I signed up for whenever we first pitched the show, we knew what reality TV was. And the only thing for me is that when I started and coming into the show and having the idea for the show, at that time, my marriage wasn't in some uproar. And then by the time the show started, when we started filming to begin with, the infidelity was something that I thought we'd experienced and got over. I didn't know that it was a still continuing thing. So I never could have thought, I guess in a million years, that all of this would end up being what's played out on this show, because I thought it was all done and over when we started. So, it's just one of those things. But hey, it's reality TV, everyday life, what you actually have going on within your life, which is one thing Carlos has nailed with a hammer, hands down, which is keeping it 100% real. And so, unfortunately, it's just been a part of my life now that has unfolded. And while I've been learning new information and I've learned new things, y'all have all watched me learn new information and learn new things at the same time.
Kimmi?
No, at the moment, I do not. I appreciate the opportunity. It was a vision of males that her and Carlos were able to kind of bring to fruition. And to be fair, it expanded my particular platform. So it actually helps me reach people and reach women and reach children that my platform was a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
A lot of bit smaller. So at the moment, no, I think it's afforded all of us a couple of opportunities that we might not have otherwise had. And in my opinion, every single person on this show can relate to somebody. Like, you don't necessarily have to like me and what I'm going through. You may relate better to Mel and what she's going through, or Tia more so. That's what I like about the show. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to like all 6 people. Like, that's not what we're here for. Wow. We're here to hopefully glean a little bit of information that's going to help you through maybe a road speed bump that we were able to get through. So at the moment, no, it's not a regret at all.
Well, we are all excited and ready for it. Melody, I got one more question. And this
now, we ain't doing that one more question now.
It's a little messy, but I'm going to go ahead and ask. I'm going to give you a chance to, just let people know. There was a report on one of the blogs that said that you and maybe a couple of friends or family members had rolled up on Martell's friend, if you will. Is that true or no?
No comment.
Okay. All
She
right.
said, I plead the fifth. I said, you said, I plead the fifth.
Right.
I don't have to answer that.
We got you, girl. All right. I love you too. And thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure. You are always so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, girl. And I appreciate you guys. We got to do this again when the season is over.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So Love and Marriage Huntsville season continues Saturday night, 9 p.m. on OWN. Make sure you guys check that out. Melody S. Hope, Kimmi Scott. Woo!
Yay! Thank you, Tony.